housing market is still in a terrible, terrible place. And it's going to take us a long time to get out of that. It took us a long time to get into it. We had a lot of people buying homes who had no business buying homes, and a lot of people borrowing second and third mortgages and equity lines on those homes at inflated values. And as those values have come down, it's creating the underwater circumstance that you talked about. I think that's the toughest part of this recovery, is usually recoveries have been led by a revival of the housing market. And the housing market has taken such a hit across the country that it's not leading this recovery. We know that, new houses and new housing construction creates a ripple of jobs throughout manufacturing and a lot of other disciplines. And that's not happening. So it's definitely a concern of everybody, I think, across the country. But, in the end, we're going to have to work our way through this problem that, I think bad government policy created. I think there was a bad policy at the congressional level, pushing financial institutions to lend money to people who simply weren't qualified to borrow the money they borrowed. And this is my view again about, when you do too much of this type of engineering from Washington, D.C., and saying, we want everybody to buy a house. Well, sure. I'd love everybody to own their own home, but only if they can afford to. And we forced, through government policies in Washington, lenders to lend to people that had no business borrowing. And we're now suffering the ramifications of that, for sure.